start with answering the question, what is leadership? But interestingly, we ran a poll with the group, the UX Brisbane group, prior to the session, and we asked them one question as part of the sign-up process, which was, how do you feel about leadership as a career path? It was good to see that around a third felt quite positively about the concept, 8 or higher. And I can only assume that the 50% who didn't answer was because they felt it was a stupid question. And look, I agree. In fact, I think it's a trick question, really, because I don't believe leadership is a career path per se. I think it's how you do your job, and I believe it's an important part of everyone's job. So what do I mean by that? Well, leadership is different to management. And what we find is that good leaders usually make good managers. See Exhibit A. However, not every good manager is a good leader. Exhibit B. But also, you don't have to be a manager to be a leader. Exhibit C. So management is much more a focus on continuing operations of the business and governance and making sure that things are happening as they should. Whereas leadership is much more about influence and driving change. So leaders are confident that they know the right way to go, and they bring others with them. You could be a leader in introducing test-driven development or paper-based prototyping or ethnographic interviews or code reviews, or by facilitating design sessions or retro meetings. So you can be a leader in your own field, and it means that everyone in the organization can be a leader. As long as you're helping others to accept and work with new ideas and in new ways, you're leading, even if the idea wasn't yours to begin with. So this means the primary skill of a leader is influence. Now, before we get to talk about influence in more detail, I just want to talk about why is leadership so important. There's 2 principles here. Principle 1, people love learning new things, but they like to feel like they discovered that knowledge themselves. They really don't like to be told. Sometimes it even helps if they feel like they came up with the idea themselves. People just like to feel in control, and they like to feel smart. When you tell them stuff, they often feel dumb. Now, it's not a really helpful mindset, but unfortunately it's a default reaction for many people. In a similar vein, people love exciting new things and opportunities, but they hate it when change is being thrust upon them. And again, this comes back to control. When you tell someone about a change, the default reaction is emotional and immediate. It's fear. What does this mean for me? No, wait, I don't have time to think that through, so therefore I don't like it. Now, when given enough time, people usually realize that the impacts of a change can be dealt with, and they still have enough control after that. However, if you trigger that immediate emotional reaction too hard, it just sticks with them, and they may never come on board, even if rationally they know it's all okay. So what do we know about influence so far then? It's about helping others feel safe and in control until they have the time and space to realize that the impacts of a change or a new idea can be dealt with. And leaders are really important because they help ease this transition for people. So this is often called gently bringing people on the journey. And leaders are important because they know this is how to generate buy-in and create a movement and ultimately make a huge positive impact where others have failed. Which means that your value as an expert is multiplied by how well you can spread your excellence around, but there's only so much that you're in direct control of. From there, it's all about influence. And the further you can expand your sphere of influence, the more others can benefit from your expertise. And yes, there's everyone else trying to influence too, which initially looks really painful because our typical experience of trying to influence each other is quite painful. There will always be other opinions, but that's a good thing, and it doesn't have to be painful. They're going to bring their expertise. There's always going to be give and take. And really good leaders are open to others' perspectives, and they'll go along with and support great ideas that others have, which means that it's more likely that the right decisions will be made as everyone's sharing their best thinking, and we know when to push our ideas or allow other workable ideas through. And look, working with other great influences is where the magic really starts to happen. That's that flow state and that creativity and enjoyment and innovation. It's a really fun space.